Hello YouTube, this is a what if video is what if Deku was betrayed. Alright. This takes place after USJ. Deku goes into class and sees Ida Elraka running straight at Deku, immediately slapping him and calling him a villain. And the rest follow suit. There would be the class divided by people that believe in Deku would be Kirishima, Bakugo, Aizawa, Todoroki, and Momo. And the rest of class 1A will hate him. Now, Aizawa will try to keep the class from trying to tear Deku from limb. But as soon as he tries to do that, the door opens and All Might comes in and takes one for all from Deku, and then proceeds to call him a villain. And Deku's confused and asking, "Why are you calling me a villain?" And All Might shows him, All Might takes him to Nezu's office and shows him a video that he took files from USJ. I mean, not USJ, but from UA. And All Might is very, very pissed at this. And he already called the police to take him to Tartarus. Once the police got to UA, they handcuffed Deku with the quirk handcuffs that suppress them, even though he doesn't have a quirk now. But as soon as Inko finds this out, she is heartbroken. Yes, Inko is gonna be a great mom in this one. And as soon as Inko learns of it, she just falls on her knees and starts crying because she lost. Everyone thinks that she is a mother to a bastard and start sending death threats to her. She loses her job because of it. And Deku, a few days after getting arrested, he is transported to Tartarus. And when he goes there, he meets Stain and All for One there. And he tells Stain about All Might calling him a villain and taking one for all. And Stain is conflicted with his own reasonings of why he thinks why All Might is the best hero. And all I can hear is just one for all, just laughing his ass off. Just seeing that All Might's successor is imprisoned in Tartarus. And he is enjoying this. And Deku, he is defenseless. He cannot fight. He gets in constant fights with the other inmates in Tartarus. And one night he tries to pick a fight with an inmate tries to pick a fight with Deku, and Deku gets severely injured and goes into a coma. And with this coma, there are four things that show up, and there are four creatures that come out of the brightness. and Deku is confused, and the first thing he can see is a feathery like serpent. Then he can see a wolf with head feather garments on. Then he can see a jaguar right after that. And then he can see a man that is flayed alive. And another. Oh, my bad, there's a fifth person. And you should know who this one is if you read up on Aztec mythology. He comes with. Oh, he has adorned headdress with feathers and a war club. And and Deku asks, "Who are you?" The feathered serpent says, "I am Quetzalcoatl." The next one is Ocelotl. The other one is Tezcatlipoca. And Xipatotec is the next one. And finally, but not least, Huitzilopochtli, the sun god. And for the gods are known as the four Tezcatlipocas, or the four cardinal directions. And within the mindscape, he is being offered by one of the most, well, 5 of the most brutal and smart and cunning of any gods of any pantheon, and also probably the bloodiest, to be honest with anyone. And Deku's, what are you here for? And Quetzalcoatl will slither towards Deku as Deku cowers on the ground, thinking he will die by this great serpent. But Deku looks at Quetzalcoatl and see that he is not going to harm him. He tells the boy that you will be our new successors. You will be our successor. You will attain all the powers and strength and intelligence of the four Tezcatlipocas and my brother Ocelotl. And once that happens, the guards that brought Deku to the infirmary in Tartarus can start to see that there's something wrong with Deku. As soon as they see his body change, it changes into a snake with feathers, and then eventually with wings, and then transforms into a leopard with ornated head garment, then to a skin body with yellow skin and red eyes, and then a blue skin with a white ordained head garment. And once that happens, he opens up and releases ungodly howl that just shatters the glass in the infirmary room. And all the guards are just on the ground, on their knees, just yelling for Deku to stop. The other bloody howl that is causing everyone in great pain. And the only person that is not affected by this shit is one is All For One. And he is just getting more and more intrigued about Deku, because now he sees that this is a new source of power he can try to take. But as soon as that happens, guards a guard that somehow got up, fought through the bloody screeching of a howl that Deku wolf form is taking, and just pushes through the ear screeching bloody pain and covers his mouth and binds him. And 2 weeks passed by after that. They put him in solitary confinement. And as soon as that happened, he breaks free of his solitary confinement chair that is meant to hold One For All in there, and he can't escape from it. And Deku breaks it like it's nothing. Absolutely nothing. Now, Deku, as soon as that happens, he sees a camera in the cell and just begins to circle around, transforming into various creatures that of the gods forms that now he has. Within this time frame, UA in Class 1A finds out that Deku is innocent. And they are fucking idiots. And they know as soon as Deku gets out of prison, he's gonna be pissed. But once that happens, a guard goes to Deku's cell and tells him he has a visitor, and it's Aizawa and Bakugo with Todoroki, the trio of good friends. So in this what if Deku and Bakugo are extremely good friends, and during this, Aizawa and Bakugo tell Deku that he is innocent, and Deku says, "Thank you for believing in me, Aizawa and Bakugo and Todoroki." And as soon as he gets out the next day, Aizawa and Todoroki and Bakugo greet him outside the doors of Tartarus and have a plane ready for him to get off of Tartarus back to Japan. And Deku tells him, "No, I don't need a plane to get back to Japan." And Aizawa is like, "What do you mean you don't need a plane? You don't have a quirk." And that's when Deku transforms into a 70 feet tall feathered serpent with wings coming from the back of the snake, the feathered serpent. And Aizawa is just fucking petrified and scared beyond belief of Deku's new power. He is cowering, and Bakugo is hiding behind him. Todoroki is still inside the plane, and all he can hear is a loud thud. And all he sees when he looks outside the plane window is a 70-foot feathered serpent looking at Aizawa and Bakugo. Immediately, Todoroki gets out of the plane, ready to fight. Aizawa grabs Todoroki with his scarf and holds him down before he does anything stupid. to kill him, kill kill all three of them, and telling Todoroki that is Deku. And Deku, with the power of a hurricane, flaps the wings and flies to UA in the matter of seconds. And once that happens, all they can see, all UA can hear is a loud thud hitting the ground of UA. And all the heroes that come out expecting for a fight sees Deku, and some of them call him a villain. And Deku said with one word, bow, and come up, basically just makes all of the heroes in the premises where Deku is just gets them on their knees and bows to Deku and his feathered serpent form. Now they're wondering, how does he have such power? And and as soon as All Might comes out, he sees this. All Might's still pissed at Deku, and still is very angry and thinking that he stole the UA files. And he's ready up to use the United States, no, Detroit Smash on Deku. But when he does it and hits Deku, it makes Deku bleed from the eye. And once Deku feels it, and Deku is pissed. He immediately wrapped his tail around All Might's neck, choking him slowly. Before All Might draws the last breath, Deku decided to release All Might at the last second. And All Might is just gasping for air and just, what the hell are you? And Deku says, I am the culmination of 5 gods of the most bloodiest mythos. Actually, the most bloodiest pantheon. And I am also Quetzalcoatl, Huitzilopochtli, Tezcatlipoca, Xipatotec, and Ocelotl. And All Might is just is taken back, and All Might is conflicted with himself. And as soon as he tells, and once Deku shifts back into his human form, he goes up to All Might and tells him that I was innocent the entire time and you fed me to the wolves. And look what happened. You are in the dust. I am in the lead. You are my food, and I am the hunter. And he walks off to Class 1A. And at this point, Aizawa makes it back to UA with Todoroki and Bakugo. And they head to Class 1A to tell them that Deku is coming. And all the rest of Class 1A is still thinks that Deku's a villain, except for Kirishima, Momo, and mine, and Jiro. Ida and Uraka, as soon as they see him, they start to go down, we're sorry for what he did, and Deku slaps them both and tells them, "Sorry for what? You betrayed me. I helped y'all. I saved you during the entrance exams. I saved you from the Zero Pointer, from crushing you. Now, Deku said the only way you can give me can ask for forgiveness and earn my forgiveness and be friends is to fight me in one-on-one battle. If you lose, I will take your hearts." Now, the rule is for Deku, since he is a god, well, has several gods in him and their powers, he needs blood sacrifices.
Wireless connection lost.
And without blood sacrifices, he starts slowly but surely starts to lose his powers. And once that happens, he becomes normal again. But he can still get any blood sacrifices around the world. So, in this mythos, the Aztec and the Mayans, they're still around. They didn't get wiped out and don't disappear off the face of the earth. They still do their normal sacrifices to the gods. So, which empowers Deku. As soon as that, and yes, they still do blood sacrifices in this mythos. In this what if. Now, once this is going on, UA gets attacked again. And all of Class 1A is still, all the rest of Class 1A from the others, because I don't know the names and fuck them, because I really don't like them. Except for Invisigirl. She's pretty good. 10 out of 10. Yeah. But the ship is gonna be most likely Jiro, because I like her. Who doesn't like a chick with basically fucking audio plugs for ears and can hear seismic waves? I do. And yeah. So once this is when UA is being attacked again, all Deku can feel is bloodlust. And as soon as he does that, he transforms into the more battle-hardened Tezlaripoca or Smoky Mirror, or as he's a Jaguar god, basically. And he is literally tearing villains left and right, taking their hearts out and eating them, gaining more power. And at this battle, Overhaul is there, and so is Eerie, and Deku sees this little girl. He summons. He can also take the represented gods that are in his body and that are powering Deku right now. He can summon them to fight with him. So he takes and summons Shipa Totek, and he tells Shibatotek to get the girl, and Shibatotek does flawlessly, and any villain that got on his way was killed without remorse. And during that point, once Eri got was picked up by Shibatotek, Overall sees this and is pissed that he sees Ares being taken away from him, and he is trying everything in his power to take Ares back, to do more experiments on her and torture her. And Chiba Totek can sense that evil inside Overhaul, and once that happens, Chiba Totek dodges one of Overhaul's attacks, gives Eri to Aizawa, and Deku tells Shibatotek, you can have him as a sacrifice. You can have him as a sacrifice. And this is gory. I'm gonna tell you. This is 18 plus part. I'm not gonna tell y'all. If you guys can't handle gore, get out of the room. But at this moment, when Shibatotek, the proper translation for Shibatotek is our Lord the flailed one. And if you look it up, he is pretty cruel. But once he gets himself to Overhaul, he starts to punch him so many times that he is gasping for air. And then the rest of the villains see this, and then 1 second he sees that Overhaul's skin is being peeled off while he's alive, being flayed alive. And Shiba Totek is enjoying this. He hasn't had a sacrifice in centuries, and one so evil. And Shiba Totek is enjoying this. He is loving this bastard's blood, and starts eating his flesh, tearing it and eating it slowly when he's alive, almost like a Wendigo, but still alive. You can hear the gargle of blood that's coming out of a Overhaul, just screaming in agony from being skinned alive slowly and painfully, and also being eaten at the same time. And once Shibatotek was done, he discarded the remains of his skeleton onto the floor where there are 20 villains, and the villains see this massive person that is red with yellow eyes looking at them, and all they can hear is more blood, more sacrifices. I must need more. And they start running. And as soon as that happens, Deku pulls Shibatotek back in. As Shibatotek pulls at the ground, begging Deku, I need more blood. And Deku tells him, you will get more blood again, but you need the rest of your brothers to feed too. So, as soon as that happens, he releases Tetzalaipoka again, and Katsukowado Axolotl and which the Butchley, and they are just tearing the villains down, chopping off their heads, just taking their blood and drinking it, taking their hearts and eating it in front of them. You know, the casual thing Aztec gods usually do. And all they see is, after that, a news truck pulls up, wondering what's going on at UA, because they can hear gunshots going off and screaming and flames going everywhere. And they just see a leopard man devouring a human in mere seconds, and a feathered serpent biting someone in half, and and fighting over with his wolf brother, just tearing it, tearing the villain in half, and sharing the blood sacrifice that they just had. And the news reporter is just barfing because of the fucking gore that's going on. It was a slaughter. All the villains that were there were either killed or injured and captured. The ones who were injured were lucky to make it out with minor damage, and some of them were saved by Kurogiri. And 2 villains stayed the fight Deku, and the 5 gods look at the 2, and say that they have brave hearts fighting me when you're cowards of allies that you had. Rand, I will give you a warrior's death. But Deku tells the 5 gods to stop. I changed my mind about shipping Jiro with Deku. I found a new ship. And if anyone knows about Aztec mythos, how bloody it is, and to the gods they need blood, you already know which villains I'm probably gonna be taking in. Maybe a better duo than Twice, even though Twice is the main person that got Deku caught. He is now forgivable. He was still Twice is a misunderstood person. He is confused and conflicted. And he sees Toga, and Toga looks at Deku, ready to stab him. As soon as Toga jumps, ready to kill Deku with a knife, Wichita Poche grabs her by the neck and shoves her to the ground, making her get on her knees and bow before Deku. And Toga is turned on about this. Seeing her being dominated in such a way so quickly. And she starts to look at Deku. And Deku picks her up, dusts her off, and tells her, "You will have 2 choices. Become my queen, or die." And Toga goes with being a queen. So Deku gives a portion of the holy blood that he has, or divine blood that he has from the 5 gods that was imbued with him from Tartarus, from being in a coma. And And once that happens, she's literally become a god. And as that happens, Deku does not stop there. Deku takes an account about her quirk, being able to use blood, and use that to his advantage. If she can collect more blood than any sacrifice of any temple in South America, that still gives him power, but at a faster rate from villains, and she can go back undercover. She would be the ultimate blood bank for Deku, and giving him blood sacrifices that way. And with that, later down the road, say a few months, All for One breaks out of Tartarus, kills half the guards there, frees Stain, and frees all the other inmates near him. They go to High Island and start. Excuse me. No, scratch it. They don't go to High Island. They go back to the League of Villains, the LOV hideout. Hideouts and strongholds. And during that, Deku asked Toga to go back to the League of Villains and be a double agent. And Toga is happy to please her new king, her new husband, to Deku as her husband. Yes, they are technically married now, because once you become a deity and someone asks you to be a queen, you're basically married to that right there and then. And she does this. And Deku and Toga. Deku tells Toga to go back to the League of Villains. Once that happens, Toga performs extremely well, killing over 70 members of LOV, of the League of Villains, of random villains from the League of Villains, and start, because their members start to grow more after hearing that there's a monster that killed nearly 500 villains in merely an hour. And left the other 200 escape with their lives. And Toga comes back with Deku and brings back the blood of the slain. And Deku just drinks that shit like it's nothing. And Deku is very thankful for Toga for doing this. And Toga is just, I am only doing as my king commands me to do. And Izuku is touched by this. And for a long time, after Toga killed several of the League of Villains lower members, then Deku goes to the woods goes to the forest with Toga. In there, in the forest, there is a secret temple, a Mayan temple, be precise, and there they now live there. Deku has servants that live at the temple. Human servants. And that's going on. Before they do that, Deku goes and stops and sees his mother. And she runs out. She opens the door and sees Deku's face and charges right at him and gives him a hug. And she misses him so much. And Deku said, "You can come live with me and my wife, Toga." And Inko is like, "Wife? What wife?" And Deku shows Toga, and Inko is royally pissed that Deku didn't tell her that he got married, and slaps him with a roll-up newspaper and hits him upside the head and tells him, "Why didn't you tell me this? Why?" And Deku says, "For this very reason, because you know you're going to hit me with something." "Exactly. How long have you known her, huh?" And Deku says, "About a month. And you already married." "Yeah, by divine blood." And Inko's confused. And Deku just shows her Quetzalcoatl's form. And she immediately knows who this is and bows. Now, here's the thing. Inko is actually a Mayan descendant. And, well, so her family's part Mayan and Aztec. And, and she knows who this is. And asks Deku, "Why is the god of Venus with you? And knowledge. And in the second son." And Deku tells her that I am his new successor. And Inko's jaw just drops to the floor. And starts to ask Deku forgiveness for acting so mean to him by hitting him with a newspaper. And he just laughs and tells Inko, "Get up, Ma. It's okay. I'm not. Let's stop." And Inko just raises her head. "Are you sure?" And he says yes. Inko just gives Deku a hug. And Inko goes with Deku and lives with Toga in the temple in the forest. And that's where I'm gonna stop it right there for now. I'll get back with y'all in a week or two. Yeah, maybe 2 weeks from now. I'll post another one. This is Mustang, and have a good night. or night, judging wherever your time zone is, or morning. Bye.